Hi everyone and a huge welcome to Steve's Kitchen. It's Subscriber Sunday, but I'm forgoing individual requests today because this one is for mothers all over the world. And of course, if it isn't Mother's Day when you're watching this, or it isn't Mother's Day where you are, happy Today Day, because I'm going to be making a wonderful strawberry cheesecake. It's a little bit lighter than normal, a little bit more delicious. Let me show you how. Now I'd like to start by preparing a strawberry sauce. I've got a cup of sugar here. I'm just going to pop that into a heavy bottom saucepan. I'll just shake it to flatten it out. Of course you can use strawberry jam, but I'm going to encourage you to make your own strawberry sauce if you can. We're just going to leave that there on a medium heat until that sugar starts to melt around the edge of the pan. Now be patient and don't be tempted to stir at this moment. You'll see just at the edge of the sugar there that it'll start to melt, and then gradually the whole of the sugar will melt and we get a lovely caramelized color start to appear. Now as that starts to melt a little more heavily, I'm just going to start to stir this sugar through, and you'll notice that we've got this wonderful caramel color in the sugar. I'm going to turn the heat right down low. And I'm just going to wait until that clarifies, so the little sugar lumps have started to disappear. Now the next thing you want to do, we've got 4 or 5 strawberries which we've cut up really small, and be careful because these are going to splatter when you pop them in. I'm just going to drop the strawberries into the sugar, and then I'm going to stir it very quickly, and what will happen is this is going to release, you can even smell it there, it's like a strawberry jam, it's releasing all the flavors into the syrup. I've actually turned the heat off now. Just going to continue to let those strawberries cook in my caramel sauce. Oh, if you could be here now, the smell coming off there is absolutely delicious. Now I'm going to leave that strawberry caramel sauce to cool on the side while we start making our cheesecake. Now to me, cheesecake bases are all about digestive biscuits, but you can do them with graham biscuits, or actually I've got a recipe for digestives on my channel. These make a wonderful base. I've got about 9 ounces, 250 to 300 grams of digestives in a bowl. You can put them into a Ziploc bag and break them up, but I find the end of a rolling pin works really well. We just want to break these down as small as possible. And we want to get those grains fairly fine, like a sort of sand texture. Now I've got 125 grams, that's about 5 ounces of salted butter. I'm just going to melt this quickly in the microwave. Now that should take no more than about a minute. I'm going to pour that butter now over the biscuit crumbs. Now, do you want to make this a chocolate base or not? If you do, take some cocoa now, and we're going to put a couple of tablespoons, I'm going to go for chocolate this time, a couple of tablespoons of cocoa in with our butter and biscuit mix, and then taking a wooden spoon or a spatula, we just want to mix this through thoroughly. Then when all the crumbs are coated with the butter like that, just set that aside for a moment. Now here's a little tip when you're making cheesecakes. I quite often use a springform tin, and I often put the base in the springform. But this time I'm going to show you another way. We're just going to put some greaseproof paper on a flat tray like this. I'm going to pop my form on top of there, and then we're going to take our cheesecake base mix and just pour it into the mold like that. And then using the back of your spoon, we just want to push this down and get a firm compacted base. And 9 times out of 10 as well, you just want to use the back of your hand just to push this down as firm as possible. Now we get that as flat as we possibly can in there, and I'm going to set that aside in the fridge now just to let the base set firm. Now I'm not baking this cheesecake, so we're just going to take 4 to 5 teaspoons of an unflavored gelatine and pop it into a small bowl. And I'm going to add a little bit of boiled water into the gelatine just to melt it down, not too much. We'll give it a little stir, dissolve the gelatine, and then we're just going to leave that aside and let it cool down while we prepare the rest. So into this bowl I'm going to add a couple of cans, 400 grams, that's 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk. That's 1 and 2. And into that I'm going to add 3 or 4 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now I'm just going to eyeball that. And I'm going to grate the rind of 1 lemon in there as well. This just gives a little bit of a zingy flavor to the cheesecake. And the reason why my cheesecake is lighter than most is because rather than using that heavy cream cheese, I'm going to use a cottage cheese, which has got lovely texture in it. Now we're going to put 800 grams or 1 pound and 12 ounces of cottage cheese into this. Now, if you really want to, you can use the regular cream cheese, but do try this. It is much lighter, and I think it gives a much nicer texture to your cheesecake. And now, rather than beating that together and losing all the texture that we have with this wonderful cottage cheese, I'm just going to fold all the ingredients together gently. Now, I can tell you, if you haven't had your cheesecake made with cottage cheese, you really should. And with the strawberries, this is just going to be so fantastic. Okay, that's nearly mixed together now. I want to take my gelatine now, give it a little mix through, and pour that in with that mixture. And then we're going to start to fold this all together. And when that's completely mixed like that, we're going to get our cheesecake base out of the fridge, and hopefully that has firmed up now. And then we're going to pour this in on top of that cheesecake base. Now, you really do have to trust that you've got a lovely seal with that biscuit base in the bottom. You could use the insert if you want to, but I'm going to set this aside now for about an hour or so, and then we're going to use that delicious strawberry sauce to decorate the top. Now my strawberry cheesecake is set. Come down here and have a look. It looks fantastic. I'm really pleased. There's one problem though. I actually filmed decorating this and we had a camera malfunction, so you're not going to see that. Let me explain to you what we did. I've taken a circle of fresh strawberries and I've just gone around the outside of the cheesecake, a few in the center just for decoration, and then I've taken that lovely strawberry sauce and I've poured it over the top of the cheesecake. Now it only remains for me to get it out of the tin and give it a try. Now, it's always a risk when you do a tall cheesecake like this that you've got the right balance of gelatine to set the cheesecake. One of the reasons I love to use this ring is because I think it makes it easier to release it and also easier to plate it up. That looks absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm really pleased with the way this strawberry cheesecake has come out. The chocolate base is going to be great. I'm going to cut myself a slice of this now and give it a try. Now, here goes strawberry cheesecake with a chocolate biscuit base. Let's give this a try. Oh, I'm in seventh heaven. That is delicious. I hope you give this one a try. Please share the love, give it the thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Now, there are loads of other wonderful sweet delights on Steve's Kitchen, and I'll leave a link here to a playlist you can get across there. If you have to get ideas for Mother's Day or any other special event, please do so. I love to have your comments. Be good. I'll see you next time.